an exciting show here. We've had last night wasn't so exciting, but Tuesday was jam-packed. You had the Pistons, you had the Wings, you had an off day. Now you come back and you have the Pistons again and the Wings playing at the same time, and you've got some Thursday night football. So it's kind of chock full here. I mean, we're sports fans. It's a nice sports night.
I like it. I like what we got. It's a good. I mean, the Thursday night game isn't the best, but it's good for my fantasy team with the Jets and the Colts. We got some Pistons here trying to see what they can do with the young team. We can always get into a little bit of Lions and talk about their disgrace. College basketball is a week away, so we got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm excited.
Yeah, I wish you wouldn't have mentioned fantasy and this game tonight. There's two things that are going on here. One is that you got White who's making a second start. He threw 400 yards in that first one, which is crazy. So it is interesting to see if this guy could just kind of take off. Even though the Jets made their pick at number 2, they've got a guy, a 5th-round pick of the Cowboys a couple of years ago, I think, who's out there throwing for 400 yards, which is amazing. But really, their running back, Michael Carter, is the one that's done me in. I picked him up kind of early in the season. I kind of waited. But with all those bye weeks a couple of weeks ago, I made the decision to kind of try to slip him through waivers. And, of course, somebody snatched him up. And then last week, he goes off for nobody's giving him up anymore. I hope he just doesn't blow up and be one of these guys. I would hate that. This guy slips through my fingers when I had him right there. That's going to be painful.
Yeah, I actually have him on my bench. I actually drafted him in like the 5th or 6th round. But I got a lot of Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman tonight, so I kind of need a big night from both of them, especially T.Y.'s being out. So Wentz, if he doesn't throw a pick or fumbles the ball, he's gonna get the ball out to those guys. But so far, I'm looking good, first place in both my leagues. So.
Whoa. Well, you know what? Pittman's been on fire, and JT's on my team, so he's done the job here. There were some questions, like I thought they were rotating too many backs and everything else, but they've done a pretty good job, Frank Reich, of feeding the big man and getting him going, even in the passing game. So we'll talk about Thursday Night Football coming up in Chapter 2. Let's take a look at our book and the chapters, and that is brought to you by our title sponsor, CashToBitcoin.com. Hey, I know you've thought about it like me, how to get involved in the cryptocurrency game. Now, I'm here to tell you how to do it. You go to CashToBitcoin.com. That's cash, the number 2, Bitcoin.com. I was listening to the Red Wings game, and the rookie had a hat trick in that game. I heard their spot, and I was interested. CashToBitcoin.com is one of the fastest and largest growing crypto ATMs in Michigan. They have hundreds of locations in Michigan and beyond. CashToBitcoin.com's ATMs and terminals offer safe and secure transactions. So go get it, step it up, check it out. Now is the time, folks. Remember it, use it, just like it says on the screen. CashToBitcoin.com.
Now, Dennis, I know you're ready for some college football this weekend, and we got to talk about our Michigan and Michigan State. But what I want to do right now is get into Michigan State at Purdue. This is a huge game. I think this will be a tough test for a Michigan State team coming off a huge win in East Lansing against a tough Michigan team. To me, this is a trap game. Purdue is not the team you want to play this week because they run this weird 3-quarterback system. They got one of the best receivers, not if in the Big Ten in the country, in David Bell, who lit Iowa up. Defense is playing well, but I just think this is one of them games where Michigan State's going to have to be careful. They're giving up 3. So, I mean, we'll see what happens, but this is a game I think they need to come in and stay focused.
Yeah, that's the one. I think everything you say is right. I mean, Michigan State, they're on an extreme high, of course, after winning last Saturday's game. And Iowa's the one. Iowa had Purdue at home, and the Spoilermakers go in there and, just smack them around, creating turnovers, the quarterbacks coming in, making all these plays, and they really blew them out. So, it's in West Lafayette. So Michigan State, I would think that Mel Tucker, the way that he's had him chopping the wood, or they're doing all of the things that he's been talking about, and he's got just a great back who's having the most outstanding season in college football. So when you got that going, feed number 9.
I think he's right now. If you ask me, I think he will be the Heisman favorite right now at this moment because he had the best Heisman moment of the season thus far. Rushing against 5 touchdowns. I know broke my heart just like it did yours, but I mean I got to give him kudos where it's due. And honestly, fun fact I really want to talk to you guys about is the fact that I don't think Mel Tucker is going to go anywhere. I think he'll be here for a while. I mean, if I was him, why would I want to go anywhere else right now? He's got the momentum strong in his favor right now. So I don't think he's going to take the LSU job or even the USC job at that case.
Yeah, I don't know about the USC job, but I think the LSU job, if he goes out there and he's already done a really nice thing being able to beat Michigan, and the way that he's turned this team around with the transfer portal, and nobody believed on him at all, and look at him right now. If it doesn't work out, I mean, it really looks like it's going to be Jimbo Fisher down there at LSU. But if he plays Ohio State tough, and I don't think it's going to be a money thing, although money is always a factor. They go out there and say, hey, you know what? We're going to pay him more than Nick Saban. We went up and got Nick Saban from East Lansing all those years ago. We'll go up and get Mel Tucker. And Michigan State could step up and say, look, we'll match. But the other thing is that you can win a championship easier. We're at LSU than you can at Michigan State. Michigan State's it's a great school. They're doing a great job, but they got to deal with Notre Dame, Michigan, and Ohio State. LSU, man, it is. I know they're in the SEC, and I know they got to play Alabama, but there's an easier path to a national championship, and he could make that jump. He was down there, and but I think he'll stay at Michigan State too. But there's a chance. There's a chance that he could go.
I like the competition though. We at this point, we as a Michigan fan, it will make me nothing but proud to see us beat him. I like some competition. So we got to give us something to work with. But I mean, we'll keep an eye on that situation and see where it goes. But I do like Michigan State to win this game. I think they'll come in and stay focused. They got a lot to play for right now. And as you can see, they're ranked 3 in the college football rankings, first poll of the year. And I don't really get too caught up in the first week because there's so much more stuff to change. People are mad that Oklahoma's 8, Ohio State's 5, which I was a little shocked, but like I said, it's going to play itself out. It's going to play itself out these next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I just saw Kenneth Walker score 5 touchdowns against Michigan. I think that he can rack up 5 against Purdue. I mean, they know how to get him the ball, and even when you're just handing it off into the middle there, he can bounce out. Like, it's a really good quality technique. Hey, Adrian, it's a really good quality to have. He's hard to tackle. He really is. He's built like a brick S house, and he's got great feet. He's got great lateral movement. He's got everything, man. It was I hate watching the highlights, but he reminded me of I don't know, LaDainian Tomlinson.
I'm going to say maybe a Beanie Wells, a little smaller version who played for Ohio State back in the day, who bounced everything and was way quicker than what you thought. So if you don't get him on first contact, he's bouncing everything. So that's the key. And Michigan did not do a great job of tackling him once they got some hands on him. So, but I do think State will win this weekend in West Lafayette. So I guess now it's time to move on to our Wolverines and talk about that. And I'm gonna let you take that off first, Dennis. Tell me what you think.
Well, really, it's a Michigan State hangover. The Michigan fans aren't over the Michigan State game. They're still talking about the officiating. They're still talking about the quarterbacks. They're still talking about, how they could have lost that game when, they were sitting there up 16 points and Michigan State made play after play after play after play. So I know the coaches and the players, they said everything right all week long, how they're moving on. And they had a players-only meeting, and they talked about 4-game season. We have everything to play for. They can still, which is all that stuff is true. It's up to them to go out there and just blow the Hoosiers off the field. But I don't know, the fans, I don't think until they play Penn State next week.
Next week.
Yeah. And so I think, you go ahead, get this victory. If they're able to beat Penn State next week, I think you can at least feel, if you're a Michigan fan, like, they're back and you can see the finish line. Maybe they've got something, but I can't do much this week to try to, hype anybody up and talk about, here come the Hoosiers. They need to be on their game. They just got to go out there and do it after last week. After, it was a great game, but, after, one of their most devastating losses of all time.
Yo, guys, we crashed. I got to redo the Facebook feed crashed. I'm about to relaunch it. I don't know if you want to pause for a second.
Well, is it going to shut down our entire show, or what's it going to do?
No, I'm going to try it again. Let's see.
Well, okay. Try it again. We'll say hi to all of our Facebook fans. In the meantime, let's we're going to get to our feedback, but we mentioned Penn State. That's next week. Pete Finelli is out in Happy Valley. He's our intern, and he's a sophomore out there at State College. And, Pete, your college football season is over, but you are going to be in the mix. You guys could be spoilers. You got Michigan next week. You got Michigan State coming up. You just played Ohio State. So you're kind of pivotal still. It's interesting to hear, your opinion on things when it comes down to what's going on in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, well, like you said, the season's over, but, still got good games coming ahead, still going to go watch. And it is kind of frustrating just, people who are, like they're big fans when, they go to the game, but then as soon as, couple losses, they just stop caring, and it's like, oh, whatever, season's over, see you again next year. It's like, come on, watch the games, root for your team. Obviously Michigan's in a couple of weeks. Can't overlook Maryland this week. I mean, Penn State's lost 3 in a row, so just to end that streak it's pretty important right now, because if they blow it this week, they're going to lose to Michigan, and they're going to go on a streak that they're going to have a really hard time getting back from.
Hey, Pete, quick question. Sorry, Dennis. Hey,
No,
Pete,
go
what
ahead.
did you think of the performance against Ohio State over on Saturday? Because I thought it was pretty impressive. That's the team I expected to see through the whole season, especially against Illinois, and coming in that game, it was very important until they took that loss in 9 overtimes.
Yeah, for the most part, not much to complain about. I mean, overall, they stayed within it, and they were, the game was never over until it was fully over. There were a few mistakes and, a couple errors here and there that kind of cost them the game. I talked about it a little bit on Tuesday, that there was the fumble that got taken back for a touchdown. There was twice there was a illegal touching call that called back a touchdown the second time. So, here and there is, errors made by the team that shouldn't have happened, and maybe if those didn't happen, could have seen a different result. But overall better than what the past 2 weeks have shown, so that's good. But either way, season's done. But we'll see how the rest of it goes. Hopefully, there's some improvement.
Well, the hottest take so far on the feedback comes from Super Racidi, who is giving a shout out to Adrian and you, Pete, saying good evening and everything. David talking about MSU being on upset alert, and he's going to take those points. Here's Super Racidi. He likes Michigan State, and make sure he stays with the money here. Plus, Coach Mel is on a mission. He could be, but then here's the hot take from Mr. Racidi here. He likes Michigan and Michigan State to defeat Ohio.
That's a bold take. That's a hot take.
That's hot. That's hot, Racidi. But you know what? He is the Detroit sports analyst. That's how you get, to be number one, right, Racidi?
I can see State doing it. I can see them. I can see Kenneth Walker having another big night.
Ball control.
I can see them maybe giving Ohio State a run for their money. Michigan, maybe not as much. I mean, both teams definitely. I take Ohio State over Michigan and Michigan State, but I think State's got a shot.
Guys, do you guys know if by chance that game next week is going to be? Does anybody have any insight if it's going to be a night game, or not sure?
The Michigan Penn State game?
Yeah.
That's Penn State Pete. He's got tickets to the game. Like they don't say they're supposed to give 12 days notice when it's a night game, but they didn't do that for Michigan, Indiana. So
I don't know my tickets.
And you're only supposed to be able to play so many night games. So yeah, I would think 3:30 on that one. But what do you think, Pete?
I don't know. My ticket still says to be announced. Yeah, I'm not sure. Probably
TBA.
Yeah. Probably like a 3:30. Who knows?
It's a little weird. Michigan's playing a night game against Indiana. We seem to always get those night games against Indiana. I don't know why, but
yeah, I like how the day sets up a little bit. Like the 12 o'clock window, there'll be something in there. Ohio State at Nebraska, maybe for a minute.
Whoa.
Maybe Rob's got something to say about the starting time. Showing up, he's got a screen.
I do. 1 second. Let's zoom. It is 2 p.m. It says that it's still screwing us up. Too many things. It still says
TBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be determined.
Yeah. Yeah, if they get to make their picks at the beginning of the week, it comes down like when it's a night game, there's only supposed to be so many in a year that are supposed to have some kind of notice. But we just saw maybe the TV contracts, there's some kind of loophole in that because they didn't do that with this Indiana game. But like, you got Ohio State at Nebraska. That could be a game for a minute. Interesting to check out. But then you got Michigan State and Purdue. There's the 3:30 window. And then whether you like it or not, Michigan hosting Indiana at 7:30. So I'll be locked in all day, but definitely from 3:30 on.
For sure.
Anything else jump out to your guys? I did just see some breaking news. Georgia, they smothered Florida this past week, but they suspend their starting linebacker Adam Anderson after a rape allegation. That's from ESPN. So
this just broke. This
just came down. So let's see what happens with the Dogs there. So they're going to have to deal with that. So you guys got anything else coming up here for college football? You ready to move on?
I got a game I really need us to stay focused to. As you all know, we'll get to the Lions later in the show, but there is a quarterback matchup that we need to watch this weekend. And that is Liberty, Ole Miss, coaching Liberty now, going to Ole Miss and playing Matt Corral. So these are arguably right now the two, quote unquote, best two quarterbacks in the class right now in a weak quarterback crop. And I'm really excited to get to watch Malik Willis play against Matt Corral. And we'll see. I don't think the Lions are going to go quarterback right now at this moment, but this is a game that is a must watch for Lions fans and college football fans.
What time's that game?
This game, it's a noon game on SEC Network.
All right. There's an extra little that's nice. As soon as Ohio State maybe scores on their first three drives, maybe it'll be time for a little Willis and Corral. No, that's a good watchable. That's a nice job, Adrian. I like that.
Also, in one more game, we got Auburn, who's a surging Auburn team, and I do not like Bo Nix, and I'm gonna keep saying that he's not bad. Pete, you would know. But they're traveling to College Station to play Texas A&M, who's finally got their act together. So I think that's a huge game in the SEC West. Two
ranked teams, I think, in that one.
Yep, and then if Auburn wins this game, I think they have a chance to beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl. So we'll see. That's meeting up for an interesting matchup.
Well, that's your hottest take of the day. They might have a chance against Alabama in the Iron Bowl. That's pretty hot, Adrian. I like it. You ready to move on to the second chapter?
Let's do it.
All right, that's you.
Let's go. I don't know what you guys are doing with your Sunday. This will be the first week in the football season that there's no Lions football. So let me start off with you guys. What will you guys be doing on your Sunday? Will you be watching football still, or will you decide to go do some stuff that you normally don't get done on a typical Sunday?
Well, Pete's not a Lions fan, so it's not going to matter to him. But so, Pete, what are you going to be doing?
I got work from 11 to 6, and then after that we'll see. Maybe I'll probably watch the night game, but I'll see if I can get it like the radio on my phone over at the register, if I can listen in to some of the games.
Titans at Rams on the Sunday night game, but no King Henry is kind of making that. If they had King Henry, that'd have been so attractive. Adrian Peterson making his debut. I'm that bad watching him go take on Matt Stafford.
I'm really annoyed about the Derrick Henry thing. Not even like a fantasy thing. Just a great player to watch. But my preseason Super Bowl predictions had the Titans going up against the Packers. So Titans are pretty much out of it now because Derrick Henry is pretty much that whole offense. And we don't know what's going on with the Packers right now and Rodgers. We'll see how that plays out.
I picked the Titans too.
Yeah, I think you had the Titans and somebody else, and Brian had the Packers and somebody else. I kind of had a combination of you guys.
I had the Chiefs, so that's not looking too hot for me out the AFC. So, I'm a Steelers guy, but the Chiefs aren't looking too good right now. So,
yeah.
Well, what, Adrian? I'm just going to reverse the question right back to you. You got the bye week. You're a Lions guy. You just turn the TV off and go to the cider mill, or what are you doing?
I'm locked into football. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who is playing. The Steelers play Monday night against the Bears, which I'm excited for that one. Then we also a couple games are locked in on Browns Bengals, which is a huge game.
That's a 1 o'clock window game. That's a nice one. I like that one.
You got the OBJ saga right now. I've never seen anything like this, man. It's a marriage that's not working, and so they kind of need to part ways, in my opinion. Just the OBJ.
I was gonna say he's been excused from the last 2 practices. I think they've just like told him just leave. Like I don't know what they're planning on doing with him.
I think they're going to plan on just go ahead and cut him loose.
Yeah. I think you have to at this point.
I think his dad's going to show a couple more videos, and he's going to be out of town.
And we got Raiders at the Giants, which what's been going on with the Henry Ruggs thing, man. It's it's a sad thing, man. But I think the Raiders are going to play inspired right now. Derek Carr, I actually didn't like the Raiders, but I'm kind of rooting for him now. Derek Carr, I think he's a good guy, and he doesn't get a lot of credit for playing really good football this year. He's been carrying this team, and I think they're gonna go in the middle. They're gonna go into MetLife and beat the brakes off the Giants this week, especially with that offense they got. So I see them playing really motivated this week.
Adrian, you were saying you're a big Carr fan. Did you see his press conference about Ruggs?
I did, yeah. I did see that.
Tearful, heartfelt.
Yeah, definitely, because the kind of guy I feel like he wants everybody to be good, but he's always trying to see the good and everything. So that's the kind of teammate I would want to have if I played still. So those are the kind of guys you can root for and put your arm around, because the organization has been nothing but a dumpster fire. Imagine Derek Carr walking into the office. Everything is always on fire, from the John Gruden situation to the Henry Ruggs situation to them getting a new coach to just being just a debacle. And he's handled himself like a true professional, and you can do nothing but respect that.
Yeah, I think they handled the Gruden situation pretty well. They went out and won the following week. I think that kind of part of that was a lot of the players weren't crazy about Gruden. He was. I feel like the Ruggs situation is going to be a lot harder for them to get over, especially
absolutely.
The offense, guys like Carr and Waller and Jacobs. This one, thankfully they have they're playing the Giants this week, so that shouldn't be too much of a struggle. But this will definitely be a bit more of a hump for the team to get over, as opposed to the Gruden situation.
Can you say OBJ? Perfect fit.
Maybe
that would be a really good fit. I know Lion fans would be out there and say, hey, why can't we get him? Like, he wouldn't want to play for Detroit. I mean, like, they could use obviously a wide receiver, but you know what? He used to get so many touchdowns when he played for the Giants. I mean, he was a wreck. He was, and what has he scored? 1 touchdown with the Browns. I mean, whatever the case is, I don't know why it is. He's just it hasn't worked since he's put on those colors there. But yeah, the Raider prediction. As soon as you say that, sometimes you just hear it and you say, boy, that's. Especially with the terrible story with Ruggs, and they're in need. The thing was, I know they tried to deal him, but he's making $21 million a year. It's like nobody was going to touch that. But, if they go ahead and cut him, they've got to pay all that money. And then he's just free out there for anybody to sign. So, yeah, OBJ to the Raiders sounds like a pretty good prediction by you, Adrian. I want to ask you guys, I want to jump in. Sorry, more in the couple of the other big stories here. You got Aaron Rodgers, who's dominating the news. The 4:00 game would have been pretty attractive because you had the Packers and the Chiefs, but Aaron Rodgers is not going to play in this game because of COVID. And Devontae Adams missed their last game, but they went down to Arizona and the Packers played great. That was last Thursday. And Aaron Rodgers played great. But what you find out is that back in the summer, he had all the drama. I want out. And then he came around and then he said, well, I've been immunized or whatever. He kind of play on words, but you find out that he was lying about it. And the NFL, they've got, I guess they got the documentation, but the NFL the whole time, they've got all these protocols and everything. If you don't have the shot, you're supposed to be wearing a mask everywhere. You're not supposed to be able to go out to eat the public. And Aaron Rodgers out at Halloween parties. He's out on the sideline with no mask and everything. And if the NFL knew that, the NFL should have been calling up like, hey, we put in our protocols, but we're not going to really do anything about it. So I don't know. Like, the NFL looks stupid. Rodgers looks stupid for lying here. I don't think the NFL can suspend him. So it's just one of these messes. You know what? The Packer fans are lucky. Imagine if the Packers got into the playoffs and then this blew up in their first game. Aaron Rodgers, man, like, it's going to be his last stand and everything else. They're playing great. Everybody's talking about him going to the Super Bowl, and they're like, wait a second, he's not available. And then you're a Packer fan. You're like, oh, but he didn't get the shot. I mean, if you get your shot and you get COVID, you feel like, hey, I don't know, bad luck, but you did everything you could, at least, getting the shot, which is everything you could. But in this case, Aaron Rodgers didn't do everything that he could, and he lied about it.
Yeah. And honestly, I think this game is probably going to be more interesting without Rodgers, just because the Chiefs have looked so not the Chiefs this year. It's been really disappointing to watch. I mean, that defense is terrible. Mahomes doesn't look like himself. And now we get to see some Jordan Love, hopefully, who, a lot of Packers fans were annoyed that they took him. They traded up to get him in their first round pick when you already had Rodgers. So we'll get to see his first regular season start. And honestly, I think it'll just be a closer game now that the Packers are a little bit weakened without Rodgers.
Here's the great sideshow Raj, our regular contributor on Tuesday, saying he doesn't understand why the Browns didn't trade OBJ. I'm sure they tried, but the price tag of $21 million,
too high.
He's not worth that. He's not worth that. So that's it. That's why.
You talk about trades. Transition. We got Von Miller on the Rams now. What do you guys think about that one?
I think I'm all for it. I mean, a lot of teams aren't going to do what the Rams are going to do, but not give them all these draft picks. But if I'm them, why not go for it?
Right.
Go big or go home. It's LA at that. So what else do you expect? They got blue chip players at every premium position from edge rusher to corner to quarterback to wide receiver. Good running backs, offensive line solid. I think this actually is going to vote them into Super Bowl contention.
Yeah, I think Von Miller's more Pete, more of a name than he is like the player from like 4 or 5 years ago.
Absolutely.
But he's had an ankle injury. But the one thing that Adrian's right, you're just going all in, and they gave up first round picks for their quarterback. They did it for Jalen Ramsey. Now they're giving up a second and a third. And look, man, it's not only going all in, it's totally going all in. And you know what? They've got the Super Bowl that's being played at their home stadium this year. If I'm a Rams fan, I'm like, go ahead. I don't mind pushing all the chips on the table. And the one thing about Von Miller, he might not be the same player, but you got Aaron Donald over there. You got Ramsey. It's not like they're going to be scheming up everything, to stop Von Miller. So maybe he gets some single coverage. He can go out and just play free. They'll save him just maybe for the playoffs. Just get him hit and miss, get him ready to go. Where not hit and miss, just spot him to get him ready for the postseason, and then just turn him loose. It could be the best trade of the deadline. Right,
like you said, yeah, he's not himself. He's had his injuries, but even if you only get Von Miller 50% of the time or 40% of the time, he's still a fantastic player. He's not what he used to be. But you have Aaron Donald right there who draws double, triple coverage all the time, and then you have Von Miller just kind of sneaking around the side. He'll make some plays, no question. He'll be great. I think he'll definitely fit in well with the Rams. And you say, they traded away all their picks. They're going all in on it. They spent their first round pick on Jared Goff all those years ago, and they said, you know what, we're never doing that again. Clearly, we don't know what we're talking about.
Well, it's an interesting study because whenever you hear people in the offseason start talking about how to build a team and how to get it done and win, everybody talks about, you got to build it through the draft. You got to get a quarterback, a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal. And, and the Rams they've done none of that. They had their rookie quarterback, but, they signed him to a gigantic deal. Then they traded him away for Stafford. Jalen Ramsey, they gave up multiple first round picks for, and now, a second and a third for Miller. I mean, they just emptied the vault, but you know what? You look at Ramsey, that was a pretty good deal. And now once you go all in, just keep going, you go crazy. And, that's what they're doing right here. And they've got a great shot to expect, and on top of that, being at your home stadium. I know Tampa did it last year. They had only, I don't know what it was, 20% capacity right now. So you're sitting next to cutouts. I can't imagine what it would be like. There's a lot of corporate sponsors and everything else, but, having a home field advantage in the Super Bowl would be awesome. The person that I'm interested in here, like it's the Lions bye week, is old Rob, our producer, who actually loves the Lions. And, Rob, Sunday, are you just going to be sitting there with your disappointment on because, the Lions aren't going to be in action or what?
I don't know, man. I'll probably be making more graphic designs and whatnot just to get through the pain. I'm going to be Anzalone for the first time in 8 weeks.
Yeah, no Anzalone for you.
That's his guy. That's his guy.
Lions are still going to find a way to lose. Maybe Anzalone is going to get hurt just walking down the street.
That's funny, Pete. You know what? We didn't even make, the bye's favored by 6.5 over the Lions this week. I'm taking the bye.
Give me the bye all day.
I'll take the bye as well.
You know what? I was as patient as I could possibly be with the Lions this year. And you know what? I like the Lions, but it's a like and hate relationship.
Mhm.
And the game against the Eagles and the game against the Bengals just turned me nasty against them. You know, like they couldn't have played any worse. They didn't show up for their coach who was out there crying, you know, the week before or to some point, you know, banging the table, red the face, down in coffee after coffee. And they go out there and play like that. Man, like 0-8, nothing to hope for. The general manager's making bad moves. The coach doesn't know what to do. There's not a player out there that excites you when you start to reach. You know, I'm talking about some nickel corner who was rated in the top 10 by PFF. Hey, there's a positive. I mean, I can't handle it. Like, I'm glad they're out of bye. It's just a nice relief. And to watch some other games, I'm glad, you know, fantasy football's still going so I can watch the team and have something to root for. I thank God, you know, for that, because if I was pinning my hopes every week on the Lions, you know, to entertain me and everything, you know, you really, they really put you through it, man, year after year after year.
Yeah, you know what?
I got
a little spoiler for you guys for my Lions picks for the next few weeks going ahead. I had a few free bets to place on I think it was BetMG. And I put one of my free ones down that the Lions' first win of the season would be against the Falcons in a few weeks.
Well, good luck, Pete. You know,
yeah, it was. You know what? It was a free bet. I was like, the odds for them going 0-17 were like, I think like plus like 200. Like they were not very profitable odds. So I was like, you know what? The Falcons, they have a bit of a reputation for blowing games. So I'll put one of the free bets down them. You know what? Let's see it happen.
Why not?
I'm just in a bad spot when it comes to the Lions because, you know, it's probably a good bet, but I picked the Cincy game for them to go get a win. And then I picked the Eagles game. I'm not picking them anymore. You go ahead. It's your time. We'll let you make the pick, Pete. All right, Falcons. I like what David has to say here, and it's a good chance of this happening. Better chance of the Lions having the number one overall than the Lions. Better chance of having the number one, or the Rams having the 32nd pick and winning the Super Bowl. Which one, if you had to bet $100 on it, which one are you picking, Adrian?
Over the Falcons, because the Falcons are choke artists.
No, I'm talking about the Lions to get the number one overall pick, or the Rams to win the Super Bowl, which then they would have 32, which then would give the Lions back-to-back picks.
I would say the Rams to win the Super Bowl for sure.
I like the Rams to win the Super Bowl, but I think the safest bet is taking the Lions number one. I mean, I don't see them winning anything here except maybe the Falcons game, hopefully.
I have to go back to what I did for, you know, close to 25 years when people were gambling, before gambling was legal. I always said, you know, rule number one, don't bet on the Lions. I mean, either way, you know, they screw you. And, you know, here I was betting them twice on the money line against the Bengals and Eagles. And they were the most sickening games. And there's reality smacking me right in the face. It's like, hey, did you listen to what you're saying for 20 years? No, I didn't. So I just preach. I know you already made your pick and everything, Pete, but those Lions will get you. You'll know. You're out there in Pennsylvania and everything, but you'll be like, man, I'm out of Detroit. Those guys are crazy. The Lions will kill you. They're killing me.
The only reason I did it was because it was a free $10 bet. I was like, whatever, let's do it. And we got
that shot.
We got Rashidi here. He's still back in his back in his Lions receivers. Like where were they last week, man?
Nowhere to be found.
What happened?
Super Rashidi, for those that are listening on the podcast, he is used the feedback and he says, I like the Lions to win the Thanksgiving Day game.
Hang on.
Amon-Ra St. Brown and the wide receiver and company going to be big time for them to win this game. Rashidi, it's going to be all about, we're going to put all kinds of over and unders on those receivers for Thanksgiving as we have a big Thanksgiving Day blowout here on the 5th chapter. I can't wait for that.
I just turned my page back to last week's note to the other day's notes. Their best receiver from the Eagles was St. Brown. He had 46 yards on 3 receptions. So I don't know what Rashidi's like in there, but that's what was last weekend.
Rashidi's just got that eye for talent. Everybody's down on him. He's stuck his flag in the ground and he's not moving it. You got to give him that.
Respect.
It's all about those Lions wide receivers.
They should have signed Deshaun Jackson or made him deal with him. It's DeAndre Swift is the leading receiver on the team. It's horrible.
You think Deshaun Jackson? I mean, he didn't want to go into LA. You think he wants to come to a winless team?
We don't have anything at all, though. I mean, you got to do something to improve.
Yeah, Rob.
Nobody wants to come here.
They're not coming here, Rob.
That's
not their first choice.
Whatever. I can dream.
Can we put Anzalone at wide receiver?
Good call.
Yes, he can play any position well. He's a stud. He's a 5-tool prospect.
All right, you guys ready to move on and turn the page?
Let's do it.
All right, that gets us to the hardwood. And Pete, we're going to see you back for the pick'em, right?
Yep.
We'll see you, Pete.
Yeah, there he is, Pete. Penn State Pete out in State College as we get to Chapter 3 and we get to the Pistons, who are in action tonight, and they're down a bucket here, close to the end of the first quarter, 29-27 I got. But there's a lot of news here because you have the Pistons sitting here at 1-6. They're hosting Ben Simmons.
Put
that air quotes. He's not around. And the Sixers. So I don't know. Here it is, Adrian. Here's a question to you. The team's 1-6. Are you worried about Cade? 2 of 4, 0-9 from downtown the other Tuesday. Ends up with 6 points. And are you interested at all in making the deal for Simmons because of this bad start or anything?
So there's 2 parts to your question. I'm going to read you some quick. Cade's only played in 2 games right out of going into game 8. I didn't like the fact that they played him his first game on Saturday against Orlando and then decided, hey, we're going to rest him on injury management. I mean, he's a rookie, man. Unless there's something going on that they're not telling us, he should be playing and just throw him in the fire. But in these 2 games, he's a combined 3 for 22 from the field, 0 for 14 from 3-point range in 48 minutes. He's only averaging 4 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.5 assists per game. And here's what I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna say I'm not worried because I've been seeing him out there at least trying to be aggressive. He's trying to get his rhythm. He missed all of training camp, missed all of the first 6-7 games. So I'm gonna give him a little bit of time. I won't start getting worried till maybe I'm gonna give him about 15 to 20 games into the season. Let him get his rhythm and let him play. And would I trade for Ben Simmons? Absolutely not. That guy's quit on the team with Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is probably one of the nicest guys in the NBA. Matisse Thybulle. You got a great coach over there in Doc Rivers. I'm gonna say no because if he would quit on them, he definitely would quit on the Pistons. And I don't want any guy in my locker room with that kind of attitude and who doesn't want to get better. They're pushing him to be better, but if he was here, I would be miserable and I would not be a happy Pistons fan.
Let me see that picture that Rob put up.
Put that back up there, Rob.
Who was that? Can we get that picture, Rob?
Sorry, there was me multitasking again.
Blow it up. I just want to see the whole. Can you make it on the whole screen?
My beautiful Photoshop. Just want to.
Ben Simmons got the jersey on there. All right.
Not K's number.
That took so long.
If it was something like football, like you just saw the Broncos, they're paying $9 million of Von Miller's salary. Mm-hmm. And if it was something like, the Sixers could pay $25 million of Ben Simmons, $35 that he's going to be paid, that would be one thing. The Pistons gave up a 2nd-round pick for him, or maybe they would give him at that point Killian Hayes. But you're going to take all $35 million, and you got to match the salaries up. What are the Pistons going to do with a disgruntled guy that can't shoot free throws at a self-check at the 3-point line? Like, I don't want that. I mean, they're not that desperate. A few years ago, Harden was out there and the Rockets, and people were saying, we don't want a ball hog on our team. And the Rockets, if it wasn't for that Chris Paul injury and, making 1 of 27 threes, they would have got to the finals and they had a path there. But, James Harden, at least, he didn't have the issues that Ben Simmons has. I don't see any team unless, you get out there, it's the Knicks, they go bad, or, the Blazers. There'll be some kind of team that will be looking, to inject some life if they, fall apart, at the midway point. But the Pistons, no, I don't want to see them do that.
No, the best team fit I see for him is probably not Philadelphia, but Portland. Dame's got what's going on with them, but I only see him going to the West. I don't see the 76ers giving Ben what he wants right now because they're really frustrated with him. And he says he's mentally not ready to play, quote unquote, whatever that means. So we don't know what Ben Simmons is going to do. But the guy on the Pistons I'm actually worried about is Killian Hayes. I know I told you this a couple weeks ago, and it's only reverberated through watching him play. He has one double-digit scoring game this season, and he's averaging 24 minutes per game. He's shooting 28% from the field, and that is not a recipe for success. He lacks aggressiveness, and already his athletic ability is not there. He's more of a smoother kind of player. His game does not revolve on athleticism, and he's turning the ball over a little too much for me. Maybe I'm being a little too hard on him, but I just don't see it from him. I don't see it, because Jeremy Grant is obviously the best Pistons player right now. He's giving you everything he's got on a nightly basis, but we got to figure out what we're gonna do with Cade and Killian Hayes playing together, which I don't think is gonna work at this point. Which I was wrong about, because I thought it could work, but so far, nah, it's not a good recipe right now for success for them.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good points there. By the way, Raj talking about the over and under for Drummond, 15 points. He's got 4 points right now. I'll take the under.
Over. I'm gonna take the over on that.
There you go. Over. We'll keep an eye and see if Drummond's able to get I don't think he's going to get to double figures. The thing about what's becoming pretty apparent here about the Pistons is that this is not going to be some team that's vying for the play-in game. That they're going to be lucky to get to 25 wins. So this looks like it could just be another tank job by Troy Weaver here, and you're going to get a lot more load management maybe from and I don't know how they're going to play it out. On the one hand, Cade Cunningham, I want to give him as much slack as I can on everything. You got the number 1 pick. You got to be super careful with him and everything else. On the other hand, you already mentioned it, I've never heard of anybody getting a day off. Your either ankle is good to go or it's not. So, and I know they said it was all short term and everything, but that seems a little crazy. But Killian Hayes, it's not like he's come out of the gate. To your point, this is a year to find out. Like you got to give point guards a little bit more time than you do other guys because they're running the team and everything. But you also have to show more than he's shown. And I know he was hurt last year. He was coming around just a little bit, but this is not a good start for him. So I think I'm settling in for this year to be a lot more like last year than a team that, you're thinking about, playing in some kind of play-in game. And that's not a lot of fun. I was for somebody like probably like you, Adrian, a lot of Piston fans that were, so fired up when they got Cunningham and were watching the summer league in Vegas like it was the NBA finals, to now like the Pistons are on tonight, and I would have it on if I wasn't doing this, but it's not like I'm riveted to the TV with the 1-6, and they don't play cut. Even when they do play him, it's not like he's out. Like they start him and he'll take a couple shots, but it's not like they're they have him out there playing starters minutes.
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to ease him in or what they're trying to do, but you gotta, as bad as they are at this point, you gotta throw him in the fire and see if him because we already know Sadiq established himself. So I guess moving forward with the Pistons right now, like you said, they'll be one of the 3 worst teams in the league. So at this point, Dennis, let me ask you this: would you, at this point, as we know Jeremy Grant is our best player, would you trade Jeremy Grant at some point this year if you could get a good package for him?
No, I mean, you never say never. Like he's not any kind of sacred cow that I'm sitting here saying that I wouldn't deal him, but I like what he brings to the table for a team. They need somebody to balance everything out, and he wants to be here. He played better than I thought he was going to last year, and unless they're getting a super deal for him, I would like to keep him around. He's doing all right. He's I think he's kind of embracing the leadership role. You can see that from him. When they do get an opportunity, when they do have opportunities, like where they're 1-score game in the fourth quarter, he's been the go-to guy. And I like that. He proved that last year. I like his game too. So, and I think Piston, he's like Cunningham's the face because he's the number 1 pick. But if he wasn't, Grant would be right there as a nice mentor, I think, for Cunningham. So, yeah, I want to keep him around. We got a lot of feedback here on the Pistons. Let's run through some of this. We can give a point or two on each one. Raciti wants to make the deal for Benny Simmons.
No, Raciti. No good.
All right, I'll let you handle this one. Do you think that Kelly Olynyk is better than Andre Drummond?
I'm I'm not the biggest Andre Drummond fan, but I would say yeah, because Andre Drummond is going to give you some rebounding. He's going to give you a little bit of defense, and you can throw him up when he's engaged. Because as we all know, when he was here, I thought he would be the face of the franchise, but you know how that went. But I would say I would take Drummond over Olynyk, and I never thought I would say that myself.
Yeah, 20 years ago or 30 years ago, for sure, I would have taken Andre Drummond all day. But the game has changed. Olynyk can drop in threes, and he's a better shooter than I thought. And the other part is Andre Drummond doesn't give a full effort. I mean, the biggest game of his life was game 3 against the Bucks in the playoffs a couple of years ago after the Pistons got swept, and he was out there. Yeah, Chauncey Billups, who doesn't say anything bad about anything, saying, "I don't know, man, it didn't look like he's giving full effort." Like that was a clown show by Drummond. I've never been able to get over that. Ben Simmons will get sent to Canada. Here's Paul. What's up? College hockey for the win. I'm excited about college hockey. I'm there with you. Well, a couple more from Ricidi here. Okay, Simmons didn't quit on them for nothing. They were very disrespectful to the man after the loss. If I was him, I would leave as well. Yeah, I mean, Doc Rivers could have handled himself better when they asked him, if you think you could ever win with him, and he said he honestly doesn't know. He should have said, "Hey, look, man, we're going to do everything we can to in the offseason." I mean, he should have gave some coach speak instead of "I don't know." That did piss him off. So I get.
I agree. They could have went about it a little differently. But here's the thing: Ben Simmons is a professional, and the 76ers have done nothing but support him and try to build a team around him, and just all they're doing is asking the man to shoot the basketball. Like, I've seen him do it in workouts and on videos and stuff, but he won't do it in the game. And I think it's confidence in shot. But at that point, I think his mental is so fragile that any little thing is gonna knock him off. I just honestly think Ben needs to grow up a little bit and be a mature adult. You're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game of basketball that we all love, and just be better. Like, he should love the idea of people wanting him to be better than what he is right now, and he hasn't shown it. But what I will give him the credit is, though, that his defense is phenomenal. He's one of the best top 5 defenders in the league without a doubt. But just shoot the basketball, man. That's all we're asking. That's why it's so frustrating.
I'm going to make a programming decision. Ricidi has a nickname already, Super Ricidi, but I'm going to add on to that and call him Super Hot Take Ricidi, because here he is. He wants a deal for Ben Simmons, and he wants LiAngelo Ball as well. Perfect with the Pistons. They've got nothing to lose. They need the star power. What are you guys talking about? He doesn't like the take job. Again, what the hell? He wants the owner of the Pistons right now to pay Magic Johnson and Jalen Rose and the other super company to get this team on point. So I
take man.
He's got the smiley laughing face about not dealing for Ben Simmons. Like, I don't know, Magic Johnson and Jalen Rose coming in as what, the GMs, or trying to attract free agents or whatever else. I don't know. Like, Jalen would do it for free. Magic. I don't think Magic's not. He's
a Laker. He's a Laker lifer. He's not doing it. He's too much of a Laker man to do that.
Good point by David. They had LiAngelo and they cut him. They cut him before they even let him play in a preseason game, I think.
What does that tell you? What does that tell you?
It tells you that he was sitting over on the sideline, with his 3 million Instagram followers, like, "Hey, I'm at practice. What's up?" And Dwayne Casey's like, "You got to get out here and shoot." He's like, "Hey, coach, let me take a TikTok real quick." They're like, "Get him out of here." He doesn't need the money.
No,
when you're blown up on Instagram like that, he's like, why don't you need to shoot? Plus, just get money from his 2 brothers, who are both awesome basketball players.
Yeah, he's really not. Awesome. Yeah, if he was as good as Alonzo and LaMelo, then we're having a different conversation for a different day. But I just ask that the Pistons fans, please be a little patient. We just need to see progress. I trust. Dwayne Casey is one of the coaches in this town I actually trust to get this team on track. So let's give it 20 more games, and we can come back and talk about the team and all. But like I said, we know they'll be bad, and actually this draft next year is going to be really good on big man. So if we need a big man, we can probably get one. So I think we'll have a top 3 pick, no doubt.
Adrian preaching patience on the Pistons, and we'll leave that there, and we'll turn the page. We do want to say thanks to our presenting sponsor, that is cashtobitcoin.com, as we get to Chapter 4.
Now let's talk about what's coming up next week, the start of college basketball season right now. We got U of M basketball, and we got state basketball. So I say we hop into Michigan basketball. You know, Juwan Howard going into his third season as the Michigan basketball coach. And right now, the Michigan basketball team is having a better overall performance than the football team right now. So it seemed like Michigan is becoming a very powerhouse basketball school, like they did in the late 80s, early 90s with the Fab Five. But my thoughts on Juwan Howard, I think, is a great coach. He's doing a great job with this program right now. Number one recruiting class in the nation coming in this year with Caleb Houston. We got Frankie Collins, a point guard out of Vegas. You got the Hunter Dickinson is returning. I was surprised he almost left for the NBA. I think he's going to be a lot better. He's going to challenge for Player of the Year, not only in the Big Ten, but in the nation as well. They got a lot of guys. Brandon Johns is coming back for a senior year. I think he's a big glue guy for them. Eli Brooks, who feels like he's been at Michigan for 6-7 years, a good point guard to get this team running. I see this team right now as a borderline Elite Eight, maybe Final Four team with infuse a little older talent with some younger talent. I think he's going to do a great job this year. He's only going to get better as a coach, and he knows how to get the guys to play well. So I like what I see from this team right now. I expect big things from them this year.
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit for Michigan. I think they could be cutting down the nets at the end of the year. And, the one thing they've got, it worked really well when they got their grad transfer in Mike Smith last year. This year they go to the Sun Belt, Coastal Carolina, and get the Player of the Year in Devontae Jones, who, 6'1", he's 23 years old. And I've heard from people that have been watching Michigan run that he's better at running the team and brings a little bit more than even Mike Smith was bringing last year. And Smith did a really good job. There's no slight on Smith. So things are looking really good there. You mentioned Brooks. I mean, he is a 6-year guy, uses that extra year. So they got guys, I always saw the past, Adrian, like when the tournament would come around and you'd see some of those Kentucky teams. Sometimes they were great. They had DeMarcus Cousins or Wall or whatever else, and, they were winning it. But there were other times they had all these great freshmen. They would run into like one of these group of 5 teams or one of these from like the Missouri Valley or something that they just had a bunch of experienced guards that were like 21, 22 years old. And you'd say, man, these guys are grown men, man. They're just showing these young bucks how to play. And Michigan's got 2 guys in the backcourt in Brooks and Jones that can bring along the other younger guys. They don't need Zeb Jackson to go out there and give them 20 minutes. They don't need Frankie Collins to run the point. Those guys can come along at their own pace, and Dickinson's a matchup problem for everybody in the country. So Juwan Howard's got it going, man. It is hard to have it all going right, but Juwan has it all going right. Now, the Big Ten's loaded. Purdue's awesome. So's Ohio State. So's Maryland. So's Michigan State. So Illinois is up there. Purdue's picked with Michigan to win it. Yep, but the thing, if I was a Michigan State fan, that I would be encouraged. One, you've got, the little general there, Tom Izzo. But the other thing is, Michigan last year was picked around 5th or 6th in the Big Ten. You see where they're at. That's about where Michigan State's picked this year. So, Tom Izzo, he's not there just to finish middle of the pack of the Big Ten. He's ticked off. He's out there chewing on he'll be up there screaming and yelling on the sideline, being all over the court. Like, he always is. So I expect a little bit better from Michigan State, but I'm not putting any barriers on anything for Michigan. They can do it all.
And the thing for me is what separates Michigan now compared to when Beeline was there is the ability to actually get 4- and 5-star players on a regular basis. So it's going to put a little added pressure on him because I think Michigan's going to start having a lot of more like one and done, maybe even 2-year guys who are just going to be explosive, especially because he's going to tell these guys he can get them to the NBA. So, I mean, what more could you ask him for it? I mean, John Beeline had a great career here. Michigan got to a couple of national championships in the last 10 years. So you couldn't ask for more. You're right. The sky is the limit for this team. They open the season on, I believe it's Thursday against Buffalo from the MAC. So
Wednesday.
I don't know. Yeah, so I don't think Buffalo's that good. But I see them getting off to a good start. Really, it's going to start in December when they I believe they travel to Carolina, Tar Heels to play them in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. So we'll see what this team is made of. And for Michigan State, Tom Izzo loves guard play, and his thing is he does not want turnovers. So he got a grad transfer from Northeastern, Tyson Walker. So he's going to play a big role. You know, he loves those point guards from a Cassius Stanley or Cassius Winston, to a Drew Neitzel. We can go back to 2005 to him. So
Mateen Cleaves.
Yeah, Mateen Cleaves, 2000. Yeah, I was a little kid, but I remember those Michigan State teams, the Flintstones.
You're still a little kid.
Yeah. And also, I think the biggest thing for Michigan State this year, as we know, the guard play, but also the forwards in the center. You got Marcus Bingham Jr. coming back for his senior year. And then you got the play of Julius Marble and Malik Hall, who I think will be the two biggest factors for them. And then Gabe Brown, who needs to shoot the ball well for them. And they got a talented freshman and Max Christie out of Illinois.
Oh yeah.
So I think he's gonna win Big Ten Freshman of the Year. So I think that will be the reason why Michigan State. I think they'll finish third in the Big Ten this year in the regular season. We'll see what they do in the tournament, but I'm counting them right now as a sweet second weekend, so Sweet 16 type of team. Maybe they'll be better because Tom Izzo usually performs better when nobody picks his team to do anything. And then they open against a really good Kansas team in the Champions Classic on Tuesday. So we'll get to see what we get to see from the Spartans on Tuesday.
Sideshow Raj not agreeing with your assessment of the Spartans, calling Tom Izzo an old grumpy man and that they will not win the Big Ten this year. Meanwhile, interesting feedback from David saying that the Pistons should go after Juwan Howard. It is pretty hot. The thing I don't like about the Pistons pursued John Beilein a couple of years ago. Yeah. When you pursue the in-state guy, it's like half of Piston fans are Michigan fans and they love Juwan Howard. So you don't want to tick off it just doesn't work good that way. If there's another way, like now John Beilein's actually working for the Pistons, behind the scenes as a developmental guy, which is a great spot for him and everything else. But I don't like the move. If Juwan Howard, I hope he stays around. I mean, his one son, Jace, is going to be a sophomore. Jet is going to be a freshman next year. I think he's going to, I could see him staying through. I don't think that's a very hot take, through Jet.
I don't think
if he can win a championship.
I don't see him leaving no time soon. I mean, he's got everything they want. They're giving him the money. They're giving him the resources. He played here, so he's got a good thing going. Maybe if he wins a national championship, I could see him deciding to go pursue an NBA job. But as of now, I see him staying here for at least the next 3 to 5 years.
I'm with you. You ready to turn the page, Adrian?
I'm ready. Let's talk about these. Let's talk about these Tigers.
We're going to get the Tigers, the World Series, and we're going to make some picks. As far as the World Series goes, is that congratulations to the Braves. I loved it. It was 26 years. It's been weren't around because it's been 37 years, 1984 since the Tigers. Here's a ball from that World Series. Right there, 37. You have to be over 40. Hell, you got to be close to 50. Remember the Tigers winning the World Series. Of course, they went in 2012 and 2006. They did make an encouraging sign, paying pretty good for Tucker Barnhart, who was with the Reds for close to 10 years. That's a pretty good signing, getting things going. But we're ready to find out if Chris Ilitch is going to be anything like his old man and open up that wallet, because they need some bats, they need some arms, and you know what? Everybody just is obsessed, and for good reason, and dialed in on Carlos Correa, and he can pretty much name how much he's going to get. So is Chris Ilitch ready to cut that big check? That's what we're all ready to see.
He's going to have to at this point, because this team is so far away in the farm system from actually competing. I mean, I know we have Torkelson in there, but we need some great positional players right now, from some outfield players to the infield. We need to load up on that. I never worry about pitching for them, because they always have good pitching, and that's never the issue. But I wouldn't like to see them draft that kid from high school last year, out of high school to pitch. I wanted to see them take that shortstop that Boston drafted.
I know.
And I was shocked. That kid might not even make it to the big leagues at this point. It might be another three or 4 years before he actually is good enough to even get there. But Chris Ilitch is, his dad's known for spending big money to get veteran positional players here. So I think he'll be opening the checkbook here, because a lot of Tigers fans are impatient right now. So
I tell you, they go out there and get Carlos Correa. It almost doesn't matter with the other couple bats that they get or arms. People will be pretty excited. You mentioned Torkelson, the number 1 overall pick. Riley Green was a number 5 overall pick. Yeah. He's tearing the cover off the ball as well. I don't know if those guys will be up right off the bat, but within a week or two, I hope they are. I think they're changing the they've got a collective bargaining agreement where they're going to do away with, how you have to slow play the rookies and service time and everything else. So it sounds like both of these guys could be in the opening day lineup. And you know what? Riley Green, Torgerson, and Correa. Come on. I'm ready. I'm ready to make a run at the Central. No, it's not hot. It's not hot to think that they can be competing. Oh, you have a hot take.
They need to go back after Castellanos. Great year in Cincinnati. Just opted out of his contract. Was an all-star player last year. I think bring him back, put him at third. I mean, you might not agree with it, but I think that would be a good welcome back for the Tigers.
Well, it's going to cost one. I mean, they got to open up. That would be a big time money. I mean, he turned down whatever it was. He had a 2-year guaranteed deal.
32 years for 32 million.
Pretty big deal. Like Jamer's doing good at third base. There's just no spot for Castellanos. They're stuck at DH with Miggy. And their outfield
left on his contract.
Their outfields, they're out for the 2 more years for Miggy. And the thing about Castellanos, he hates the ballpark, so he's not signing here. Even if the Tigers gave him more money than anybody else, he's not coming here. So it is hot. It is hot, but I don't see it unless the Tigers say, "Hey, you know what? We'll reconfigure right field. We'll swerve it in and make it 15 feet closer." Now maybe now that's hot. That would be hot.
I think if Torkelson does good, I think he should be up within the first month of the season, and we can see how good he is. I do like Akil Badu. I think he's a solid player, but Dash Cameron's not cutting it for me. That guy's it's not. Scope actually, I think has played pretty well for the Tigers.
Put him at second.
Yeah, he's
I think Purdue and Grossman and Green, those are the 3. Maybe Daz is a 4th outfielder. He can play some defense out there. That that doesn't sound all that bad in the outfield to me.
Yeah, we need some pop. We need a little bit of firepower. So the pitching, like I said, the pitching was solid last year. I think they just need to upgrade in this outfield. I mean outfield. So in the field, but we'll see. Hopefully they don't go on strike because I know that they're having issues with the CBA right now. So we'll see. But
fire Tony Clark and get rid of Rob Manfred. That's what I would be all about because those guys couldn't get together. They ruined it, during the pandemic when they had an opportunity. I would get rid of the players rep and Tony Clark, and I would get a Rob Manfred and get 2 other guys in there that are going to come up with a deal because those guys weren't able to. All right, it's pickup time. That means everybody's going to be involved here. I know I had a terrible week last week picking the Lions outright. And all that Michigan. I picked Michigan. I had a really bad week, so we're ready to go. Let's get it going. Pete, what are we picking?
All right, we got some picks courtesy of Brian. So we're starting off with the noon game, college football. We got Missouri at Georgia. Georgia's holding minus 39.5. Adrian, why don't you lead off?
I mean, obviously, Georgia's the best team in the nation, obviously. Stetson Bennett's playing well for them. The defense has gave up, I believe, 48 points all year, which is crazy. Give me Georgia and give me the points. I see a couple defensive touchdowns.
I would recommend taking the music down a little bit. It was hard. Okay, that's all that I'm looking for. Look, I think Georgia, they're going to have to deal with the suspension of their star linebacker here, Adam Anderson.
Oh, that's right.
I think they got a little bit of a hangover. I mean, they got 25 5-stars out there over the last 4 years. They're in the driver's seat. Sure, they're going to win the game, but give me the Tigers and 40 points.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that one. I don't think they're going to be able to win by 40 points. It's a little much. So, yeah, they haven't scored over 37 since September. So even if they did shut them out, that's still not quite enough. Obviously, they're going to win this game, but 39.5 is too much for me. So
nice research there, Rob. You making a pick?
I got so obsessed with setting this up. How's the music?
Now it sounds good.
I take whoever Pete took on this one.
Smart.
He did so much research.
Definitely don't have the worst record between the 3 of us. Anyway. Next one, we got MSU at Purdue. MSU's holding minus 2.5. Fifth, what do you take?
I'm taking the Spartans here. I'm wearing green, not because of MSU or anything of losing a bet. I'm doing it for Chris Creighton and Eastern Michigan beating Toledo on Tuesday and getting bowl eligible. So go Eastern. And, Kenneth Walker the 6th. So he'll get 6 touchdowns this week.
Adrian?
Give me Michigan State cover. Kenneth Walker's gonna run wild on Purdue right now. Their defense is one of the best defenses in the Big Ten, but nobody's been able to stop Kenneth Walker the third. So give me him $150 and 3 tubs on the ground. Michigan State wins going away by 17.
Right. Yeah, I'll keep it going. I mean, Michigan State, all they gotta do is win by a field goal. Shouldn't be too difficult against an unranked Purdue. I got MSU here.
Did he make it a clean sweep?
I've never made this statement in my entire life. I guess go green, go white. Michigan State are out.
Oh, gosh.
Ooh. Wow.
Let's move on.
Last one, we got the 7:30 game. Indiana's at Michigan. Michigan's holding minus 20.5. Adrian, go ahead.
Michigan's coming off of a heartbreaking loss to State. They got to bounce back and actually put their foot on the neck when it's time to be and stay on it. So they're going to hit the gas early and often. Give me Michigan with the points. They're gonna get JJ in their second half. K's gonna throw for 250, 3 touchdowns, and I see Michigan rolling easily.
You think they're gonna have JJ McCarthy play?
Listen, after last week, they're gonna have to because his confidence is running real low right now, especially fumbling late in that game. They have to at some point in time. So I think they'll be up big enough for him to go in there, and even if he makes a mistake, why does it matter? But
all right.
Yeah, they're going to continue to play J.J. McCarthy. I don't know if it's going to be Jack Tuttle, who played against Michigan State, or if it's going to be the freshman out of Indianapolis, Donovan McCulley. Either way, I like Michigan to roll in this game. It's not like, they're mad. They want to show the fans. They want to do it themselves. They can only beat Indiana, but a close Indiana game, it's going to make the season feel like it's really over. So go out there and beat the Hoosiers. I like Michigan to cover the 20 points.
Yeah, I was a little hesitant after Indiana only lost by 5 to MSU, but Michigan, they're pissed off. They just lost to State. They're gonna come out strong at home. Give me Michigan. Give me the points.
Michigan all day, absolutely. Also, I got our sponsor back on screen.
Good job, Rob. There they are. CashToBitcoin.com. Nice job.
Love them. All right, moving on to the NFL. First up, we got Patriots at Carolina. We got the 1:00 game. Patriots holding minus 3.5. Adrian, why don't you go ahead with this one?
I'm gonna take the Patriots. I'm gonna take the Patriots and the points to go and win at Carolina. Sam Darnold is a turnover machine, and New England made Justin Herbert look pedestrian last week, and I think they're gonna do it again to Sam Darnold. I actually don't even know if he's playing with that concussion, but give me the Patriots right now. Mac Jones right now will be my rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. So give me the Patriots.
Let's go ahead.
I'll go against them. Give me the Panthers. Or whether they're a home dog, let's go.
Yeah, I don't know about Mac Jones rookie of the year. Jamar Chase, he's been good, but you know what? I'm taking the Pats here. Panthers might get McCaffrey back for this week, but
I believe he is playing. They said he is playing, so
that's the hope. Even if he is, though, I don't know. I think they'll probably throw him right back in there. They need him, but give me the Pats. 3.5 points. Yeah.
I'm not Belichick. Let's go, Patriots.
Sorry, Rob. I almost skipped you.
Oh, it's okay, brother. I'm not usually on. All right, Patriots all day.
By our sponsor.
Hey, I'm in a weird spot. Patriots all day.
All right. Next up, we got Monday night game. We got the Bears versus our Steelers. Adrian, let's see. What do you got here? 6.5. I got 6 for the Steelers. Minus 6 for the Steelers.
Listen, offense has been putrid this year, but Najee is on a roll. Give me my Steelers, but the Bears are going to cover.
All right. Tiff, go ahead.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with that assessment there. Steelers are doing all right, but and I think they will win that. But I think the Bears will keep it close enough where Justin Fields ran for 100 yards last week. So he's coming around a little bit. Big Ben could just go down the tubes at any point. So, yeah, give me the Bears.
All right. You know what? It's a Monday night. It's at Heinz Field. Steelers on a roll. Give me the Steelers and give me the points. I'll go different than everyone else.
Okay.
You're a Steeler fan.
We got Rob.
Yeah. Well, right. Adrian.
I'll join Pete on this. Let's go Steelers.
There we go.
There we go.
Big night for Najee. All right, final game. We got the Packers without Aaron Rodgers at the Chiefs. Chiefs are holding -7.5. Dennis, what do you think?
I don't know anything about Jordan Love. I've never seen him. Well, actually, I did see him play against Michigan State. He looked pretty good like 5 years ago on a Friday night to open up the season, but I haven't seen him do anything in the pros. And I don't know how the Chiefs, not like that. How many points?
-7.5.
Tell you what, I wouldn't bet this game, but since I think that somehow I think Jordan Love will be able to keep it within 7.5. Give me the Pack.
Adrian?
Give me the Chiefs, but the Packers will cover because I just don't know what to expect from Jordan Love right now. So this is the Packers, what they've really been waiting for. So either Jordan Love is going to be good, it could be trade value, or Aaron Rodgers is out of there. So we'll know a lot about the Packers' future after this game come Sunday.
Yeah, I like the Packers to cover too, at least. I mean, the Chiefs have been rough. They barely beat the Giants last week, so I think Jordan Love will be good enough to at least keep it close.
I want to say Jordan Love is going to blow up. He is going to be his crowning moment. He will take over the mantle and run the Packer franchise, and he will own the NFC North.
Rob, how about getting those hits on the show for his hot take about Jordan Love taking over for Aaron Rodgers. All right, are those the picks?
That's what we got. Rob, what do you got for the Lions versus the bye week?
The bye week by 40. The bye week is going to crush them like nobody's ever seen.
Yeah,
right.
Dan Campbell will cry during the bye week. I don't know. He's going to go out. There's not much to say about the Lions.
Over under Dan Campbell crying 2 more times before the season's over with.
Over
For sure.
He might cry 10 more times. He might cry 10 more times. They've only got 7 more games. Or wait, we've got 9 more games, right? That's the way it goes. Yeah. All right. Great job, Pete, on that. One of your, in fact, I think your best show. Rob Diddy, you did an excellent job as well. Thank you. Pete, we'll talk with you on Tuesday. Adrian, it's great. Have you here on a Thursday.
Loving
nice
it.
Job. And you hit a home run in your first full show.
I appreciate you, Dennis. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, we got a great week in sports. About to go turn on this horrendous Thursday night game. Go watch the rest of this Pistons game. Got a great sports weekend, so I'm excited. It's November, which is crazy. Halfway through the season, so we got a lot more to talk about. But
no, let's go get Jonathan Taylor like 3-4 touchdowns. Let's do it. Maybe he'll put on a Kenneth Walker. I'll take 5 touchdowns.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
All right, for Adrian Myers and Dennis Fithy, and thanks for watching. We'll be back with you on Tuesday here on the 5th chapter. Good night.